Hello, everybody. My name is Ricardo De Geroni. I am a Brazilian architect and urbanist, fellow student at Federal University of Santa Catarina. I will introduce the paper, The Political Framework of the Common Good, a complex adaptive assemblage, co-produced with my fellow professor, José Ripercos. In this paper, we study the commons as emergencies in a political arena, to verify the dialogic relation between the commons politics and its economic, institutional, and material technical dimensions. This in order to dissertate about the information perspectives for complex adaptive institutions, the symbolic violence of land detachment from the commons, and the perspectives to bridge the gap between humans' communication and the mediated reality. We understand the commons as emergencies in this political arena that is simultaneously assembling materiality, society, and institutions, each performing a complementary, competing, and antagonistic dialogical relationship. We call this the commons hypercycle. We relate to institutions both in their formal and informal manifestations, aligned with Castoriadis as socially sanctioned network where functional components of social ecosystems interact with social imaginary in a recursive process. So the aim of an institution would be the social ecosystem self-organization. The cosmos and social systems diversity interacting with nuances of scarcity infer a political inevitability. Scarcity would imply societal adjudication on legitimacies of exclusion, ownership, and rivalry. Those adjudications permeate institutional, economic, and technical material dimensions. We studied Garrett Harding's Tragedy of the Commons and the problem of human freedom over free access resources, and we understand the tragedy here as a struggle of existence in regard to its finitude, where the one struggling to exist, the hero, relies on Oedipo mediation. So we stress in the paper who is this hero, because we may relate to the earth as a hero in her imminent destruction imposed by humans' institutional violence. We may relate to institutions as a hero imposing limits for human materialistic desire. And we may relate to the customary citizen as a hero inflicted by the coercive history of agricultural society assembled into modern capitalism and its implications. So there is an ambiguity in these heroic figures in their tragic expectations. So we present the political framework of the common goods by assembling different authors' perspectives. The first of them is Cho Yang, reminder that rivalries and excludabilities are social constructs and not physical attributes. Based on that, we established that the material technical dimensions as related to situations on the eminence and the presence of scarcity that would lead to a rivalry situation. And the economic dimension related to the legitimacy of or no legitimacy of economic exclusion. We also relate to Eleanor Ostrom and the distinction that the author made on the common pool resources (CPR) and tall goods and club goods. And we trace this vertical X related to the institutional dimension, cross-section the commons vertically. And this is inspired on Tepper that elucidates that the commons have two dimensions, the legal and economic. However, here we move from a legal dimension to an institutional one to better deal politically with the commons, understanding the legal dimension as a subsystem of the institutional system. We also relate to Aguilera Klink that understand commons as institutions. Tonucci Filho and Magalhães that stands that it is the human activity that turns a thing common, inscribing it in institutional space under collective production of specific rules. We provide two examples. The first of them is different water conditions in the same water resource system. This following the Brazilian constitutional bias. And the second case is the university's case in relation of the parts and the whole. Centering the public university as the federal and state universities in Brazil. We also converge these two examples by discussing the cases of water bodies permeating a university campus, where the challenge will be the coexistence of these differences that must be complexified in politics. Our framework is not typological but situational, implying an analysis that converges time and space. We should not be paralyzed in the face of the part's complexity, concluding the uselessness of an ideal type for the whole, such as the Brazilian constitutional standing water as a public good. This ideal type in the symbolic instance of the law evokes an idea about the whole and serves as a parameter for instantiating props of party deviations. The political framework of the common goods demonstrates the real-time states of the parts of a whole, like different waters on the same resource system and different parts of the same campus. The assumption of the whole, the ideal type, must be sufficiently complex to allow situational diversity. And that is why the assumption should be related to complex adaptive institutions. So under specific semiotic interactions, the common good as a language has implications on societal attitudes regarding human activities, which imply an outcome on the mediated reality. And it is only in the hypercycle that institutions constitute a complex adaptive system. Outside the hypercycle, what we have is just a system of interest. Now we relate the issue of the paper with the issue of the panel, which is the transformación de los sistemas políticos. And we start this bravado by addressing this state of crisis that we are living in. That is a multidimensional crisis because it is economic, ecological, and societal crisis that will stress policy, society, and science for solutions. The society is market-oriented, and we relate to this where more knowledge equals more development in a process of commodification of time, space, of nature, and human commodification. And we portray this as a tragedy, and we paint these landscapes as draw and rotten landscapes. We also found the narratives of smartness, knowledge-based development, the smart cities, where emerged the technology as a hero. But we are also blindness to these messy, complex, wicked situations, blinded by the stronghold of resilience on managing climate change, the planetary boundaries, natural disasters, resources scarcity, increasing the buffering capacities by building more stronger and higher infrastructures. So we configure this smart blindness to wicked, complex, and messy problems and situations. Another important issue is the problem of autonomy, which is twofold. Human autonomy because of the knowledge institutionalization and the responsibility transfer for the experts, for the institutions to develop knowledge. And also ecological autonomy because of the asymmetries between human activities and the capacity for nature and for the ecosystem to respond or to self-organize, to regenerate. So with tension, we are living in the chaos or an organized delusion. And here is where we see perspectives for political innovation, policy innovation, institutional innovation, by assembling the paradigms of the top-down and the bottom-up, the local and the global, permeating a different quality for this Oedipal culture of resources governance, by embracing complexity, the asymmetries, dynamics, the hypocrisies of recognizing the hypocrisies of the observer and the plurality that imply this agency of the different worldviews. And we stress where lies the commons under this messiness. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado. I invite you to get to know our research at Laboratório de Ecologia Urbana, LEUR, and here is our address. Thank you.